waged a terror campaign in the northern part of the country, which gained intensity over the years, to the persistent gun and bomb raids, and that included suicide attacks. The sect members also added abductions of their victims. But it was the snatching of over 270 girls from the government girls' secondary school in Chibok, Borno State, on April the 15th that rudely shocked both the nation and the international community. Now, shortly after the news of the girls' abduction broke, military authorities claimed that they had rescued 121 of the missing girls, and only 8 were still being held. But the story began to change again when more facts started to emerge, including that over 200 instead of 129 girls had been seized. On April the 17th, the Director of Defense Information, Major General Chris Olukolade, beat a hasty retreat from his earlier position about the rescue of abducted girls. Instead, he told Channels Television that the military would rather defer to the school authorities and the Borno State government on the issue. Several of the parents, the Borno State government, and the school's principal further contradicted the military's claim, saying 14 girls who escaped did so through their own personal efforts.
All right, now the plight of the Chibok girls got to the presidency, and the First Lady, Mrs. Patience Jonathan, sought to unravel the truth behind their abduction. In a bid to unravel the mystery, Mrs. Jonathan invited the principal of Government Girls Secondary School Chibok and the wife of the Borno State governor to the presidential villa. The Borno State's First Lady sent a representative. In the course of asking questions, the First Lady discovered there had been no security for the girls. She broke down in apparent frustration.
Well, the First Lady may have wept openly over the Chibok girls, but shortly after, a video posted online for the first time showed the girls speaking about their ordeal. A United Kingdom paper, the Daily Mail, said the footage showed girls who looked healthy but complained of hardship, hunger and anxiety about their families. The video is purported to have been released by the Boko Haram sect. Another detailed video purportedly released by the sect showed all the girls in female Islamic attire and the sect leader Abubakar Shekau claiming they had been converted.
Well, one of the most positive responses to the abduction of the Chibok girls was the visit of the child activist Malala Yousafzai to the country. She also extracted a firm promise from President Goodluck Jonathan to meet with parents of the abducted girls.
She has fully recovered from gunshots from terrorists and is today advocating that all girls, no matter the odds, should be made to go to school. She carried her campaigns to Nigeria, precisely into the presidential villa, on her birthday to meet with President Goodluck Jonathan behind closed doors. They sat for about an hour, and in her usual fearless manner, she bears her mind to the press on the outcome of the meeting, wondering why anyone would deprive girls from going to school. She is, however, happy with the promise she got from the president.
The president fortunately promised me that he will do something for these girls, and he promised me that the girls will be returned as soon as possible.
She had, on her arrival in Nigeria, met with some of the parents of the missing girls. She got another promise from the president on meeting with those parents.
At this time, they need support, they need people's support, they need their president's support. So I asked the president that is it possible for him to go and see the parents, to see these girls, to encourage them and to tell them that yes, their daughters will return home. And the president did promise me. He said that he will meet the parents of these girls, and I'm hopeful that these two promises, the return of those girls who are under the abduction of Boko Haram and meeting the parents of those girls, will be fulfilled, and we would see it really soon.
Funding of education is of concern to Malala. While she pledged to donate $200,000 from her fund, the federal government also told her what is being done so far.
The money spent on education should definitely be increased. This is how this country is going to develop, and I believe in the power of education. If Nigeria wants to have a bright future, then every child here should get the opportunity of going to school.
Education is one of President Jonathan's main priority areas, and I think the percentage is more than what has been quoted. And in terms of what has been provided, infrastructure, expansion of access to education, this administration has proven to be really committed to education both at the basic level and also at the tertiary level.
Malala said that even though the promises have been made, she's not going to stop until the girls are released and be made to continue with their education. Chukwuma Onwekusi, Channels Television News.
Well, as for the girls, having spent over 6 months in captivity, a bright ray of hope finally seems to appear for their release. On October the 18th, the National Information Center disclosed that the federal government had almost concluded successful negotiations towards the release of the abducted Chibok girls, and they would soon be set free. Head of the center, Mike Omeri, said the deal was brokered following the president's visit to his Chadian counterpart, Idris Deby. This information was, however, widely received with a pinch of salt, and very few were surprised when it turned out to be a mirage.
It is necessary to state here that Davis and his cohorts are amongst several other local and international groups who are out to make merchandise of the Boko Haram insurgency through concocted and fabricated stories. These subversive campaigns are also aimed at permeating and shaping political discourse, as well as challenge the integrity of our national security and stir discontent amongst Nigerians and our esteemed allies in the war against terror. We want to reiterate once again that this service, and indeed all security services, are committed to bringing to justice all who sponsor or partake in the publication of subversive reports against this country. We shall not rest on our oars until our country is rid of all unwholesome activities.
Well, ahead of the abduction of the Chibok girls, the insurgents had been quite busy with deadly fashion. On the morning of April the 14th, a devastating bomb blast hit a bus park in Nyanya, a settlement at the outskirts of the Federal Capital Territory. At least 71 people were killed in the explosion, which went off while residents were boarding buses to either convey them to work in Abuja or various destinations in the country. President Goodluck Jonathan later visited the scene of the blast. President Goodluck Jonathan at the site of the bomb blast in Nyanya, in the outskirts of Abuja. The president assured that the issue of Boko Haram and other terrorist activities would soon be a thing of the past.
If we become observant and all of us become very security conscious by the movement of people, we'll be able to reduce some of these incidents. We'll do our best. Country security services will continue to work hard, and God willing, we'll get over it. The issue of Boko Haram is temporary. Surely get over it.
The president also visited Asokoro General Hospital, where most of the victims of the blast were taken. At the National Hospital, 46 persons are receiving treatment for different degrees of injuries, with 15 persons dead.
Once I say anything, it becomes authoritative. So just bear with me as we collect the figures, but we had a lot of victims, we had a lot of them dead from the site. That's all I can say for now. But certainly before in the evening, we'll have more definitive figures. We are working hard to be sure that whatever figures we give to you is not wrong. We have to do with our sense of responsibility.
It's certainly overwhelming, you can see very well. Not only NEMA as an agency, even the hospitals are overwhelmed.
There was wailing and anguish as relations confirmed the death of loved ones. Many have condemned